Hey everyone, if you ain't part of the channel, subscribe, share, like this video. If you want to send us a message or anything, everything's in the description box. I want to thank everybody for being here. We've got a lot that's going on, but first thing I want to talk about today is that have you ever just been scrolling through Facebook and all these different social media apps and how disgusting people truly are? I mean, I was scrolling through it last night, just scrolling through it, and I bet you I could come up with two people that loved God, and the rest of them was so in love with themselves. All they want to do is take pictures of themselves half naked and just the stuff. I mean, they worship celebrities, they worship everything but God. I mean, it's just amazing. If you don't think the world's coming to an end, I noticed I had a bunch of people said, last night when I said Jesus was coming, they'd put liar, liar, liar on in the comments, which I deleted them, but it's just amazing that people can look around and think that everything's just fine and dandy. Major earthquake in China last night, about 2 o'clock in the morning. I think it was like a 7.1 or 7.3. A lot of stuff going on, people. It's everywhere. Me and Bonnie was talking about it the other day. It just seems like everywhere you look, there's earthquakes. 7,000 in the past couple of months, by the way, if you're counting. That's how many. I mean, and the sun is acting up like crazy. They're saying there's a major sunspot headed towards our way in the next couple of days, and it could erupt. So it's just everything is happening all at one time, as usual. Russia talking about everything that they're going to do. It's just nonstop. Every time I turn on the news, it's 30, 40 times worse than what it was yesterday. And it doesn't seem to be dying down. So if you don't think Jesus is coming, I'm telling you, you're asleep and you don't want him to come. I mean, that's the only thing I could come up with, is that people are so asleep or they just don't want him to come. People would trade him for celebrities and their sports and their politician gods that they worship on both tickets. They worship these politicians like they're gods. You cannot talk to them about Jesus. They don't want to hear about Jesus. They want to hear about their politicians. I've never seen, and every one of them's corrupt. Every one of them's absolutely corrupt. They've took this nation and destroyed it. I mean, it's just absolutely. You can't watch a show on TV anymore. Can't watch a movie. They shove all this crap down your throat. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's like being stuck in jail and you can't go out. Now they're talking about another thing of a pandemic coming or something like that. And on top of everything else, but they say that every 2 months. It's got so ridiculous that it's almost to a point. I see why people just turn off the TV and they don't want to watch it anymore. But if you work for God and you love God, it's almost unbearable to be on this planet now. It's unbearable. They've cut him out of everything, and you don't think the world's coming to an end? You're delusional. Because he is. He's coming. And that's my job every day, is to get on here and remind you of that. That time is up. This world's falling apart, and it cannot go any longer than what it is right now. Cannot. It gets worse every day we wake up, and that's what God warned us about. He said, do not fear, but every week it will be magnified. It'll get worse and worse and worse. And that's what it's done ever since he told us. I mean, every time you turn on the news, it's worse and it's worse. More train derailments, more plants blowing up. I mean, it's pure chaos out there. Pure chaos. But we're not to fear it. We are the light in the darkness. I've had a lot of people tell me, you should be scared of this 3 days of darkness. Why? When God told me not to fear it. God ain't fear. You should tell people to prepare for it. I'll tell you to prepare for it. Have Jesus in your life. That's all you need. You don't need anything else. That's all God said. You have Jesus, you're protected. Don't worry about it. That's why I get on here every day to tell you, do not worry about it. Jesus is coming to get us out of this mess and get us off this evil planet. And it is. It's just pure evil. If you don't believe it, just go scroll through your social medias. Count how many people are righteous of God and how many that ain't. That are disgusting. People are just disgusting. Used to be women was, mannerly and everything else, but I'm telling you, it's disgusting. What they look and what they dress like now, what they do, the way they talk. I counted almost 30, 40 just stuck their middle finger up for their profile picture. Now, how attractive is that for a woman? But that's where we live at today. Kids are not monitored anymore. They're just on social media running amok. It's disgusting. This world is just so absolutely disgusting. Like God said, we are definitely in the days of Noah, where people are so corrupt, in love with themselves, in love with their sin, that they don't want God here. They've got rid of God. And that's why Jesus is coming. I just want to remind you, if you don't believe me, check out your sources and just look around. I'm telling you, we're outnumbered 5,000 to 1. That's why Jesus is coming back. So if you need a reminder, not just all the events that's happening around the earth, the sun, the floods, the earthquakes, war everywhere in every single country around the planet's getting ready to go to war with each other. If you don't believe it, just look around. It's there. So be aware and know that it is time that we are out of here. But don't fear anything that's coming towards us, because Jesus is going to come and get us out of here. He comes in the storm, people. You that was brought here on this channel are his sheep. You're his sheep. You hear it, you know what's out there, and you know what's coming. Nobody convince you otherwise, because you're his sheep. You know the shepherd's voice, and you know he's calling you to be ready. Kids around the world are having visions and dreams and hearing angels. People, it's happening all around you. So be aware and be awake and stay on the ark. I'll be on here daily to remind you that you're special. That's why you're here. That you're a light in the darkness to all these people around you when all this stuff starts to fall apart. That's my job. We're glad to have you on here, and I'm glad a lot of you. I noticed Clint had done his first video the other night. You did a great job, Clint. So many of you, and I want to thank everyone that's bought me coffees on there. I did have a report, and I thought it might have been an old channel of mine that was being sent a link to that Buy My Coffee, and I was wrong. I went on there. I don't know what that is. And this evening when I get in, I'll take it off. I don't know what it is. It wasn't one of my old channels, so I don't know how that link got in there, but I'll get it off of there. But I appreciate everybody a lot. If you don't know, I do have Buy Me Coffee on there, and what it does, a lot of that goes, half of it goes to the Jews, and that donates back to them. So that's why I have it on there. So I thank every one of you that does that. I appreciate it. I do memberships on there, and that also sends money to the Jews. It brings them back from wherever country they are, and it helps feed them when they come back to Israel. That's what that's for. And I appreciate everybody that does that. And I'll probably do a couple of t-shirts to sell to also raise for the Jews. That's what I do. I donate to the Jews. I help them. They're God's people. Make sure that they're fed and they get their trips over here, and once there they get their medicines and everything else, because some of these people are 80-some years old. And when they come back to Israel, they don't have no support. They don't have no family there. They're just being completely moved from either Russia or wherever they're at back to here. So it's very important that we take care of God's people. That's his chosen people. And I've always found myself doing that and sending Bibles all over the world. That's the two things that I've always tried my best to make sure that happens, and that I'm able to do that. So thank every one of you for being here. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. We've got over 2,100 subscribers. We went from 20 to this. So it's definitely because of you sharing and liking the videos. You know, a lot of people don't like me. They think I'm boring because I don't add to the Bible. I tell you to read the Bible yourself, to learn the Bible, so these people can't play games with you. And it's very important that you do that. So once again, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a light to those around you that need your help in these times. If you don't see or hear from me again, I'll see you in heaven.